So we have Gary Griffith on the line. Gary, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to many viewers.
Oh, yes, many and true, eh? Many. All right?
Many.
All right. So, first off, before we get to the medical insurance issue, I want to get to the scanners or the scanning capabilities of these vehicles that were bought under during your term as Commissioner of Police. Because Imbert is saying, I don't know if you caught what I read with Imbert. Imbert is saying that we in Trinidad and Tobago, we scan 10 times more containers than the United States, no, 5 times more containers than the United States of America and 10 times more than Europe. And that if we were to move to 50% or 100% of image scanning, it would bring the trade to a halt. Now, while I can understand that you need manpower and you need the proper tools, what I saw in the MyStar video with the capabilities of this ZBV technology is that it wouldn't take long. The vehicle could actually drive alongside the container and scan it. So are the vehicles, I mean, well, Wayne MyStar is saying that the vehicles are not equipped to deal with big containers, only barrels, which I can't understand. But give us a little insight into the scanning technology of those vehicles that the TTPS have.
Yeah, well, sure. Again, good morning again. I mean, based on those comments that we heard from MyStar, from Marlon Hopkinson and Alexander in that certain show from Colin Imbert, we need to get some X-ray scanners to scan the brains of some individuals, because it seems that the lights on no one is in. It is mind-boggling that MyStar and Beyond the Jacob Jeep, which that show has now become a PR gimmick to try to promote Jacob for his incompetence. You listen to MyStar and you saw the video. It shows that it was total misinformation given to the public. The scanners can't do that. But again, so you're a police officer and you decide to go live on national television to give information based on what the port told you, and the equipment belongs to you. That is incompetence at the highest level. The equipment belongs to the police service, but you are now taking information from the port. So it meant that MyStar, Marlon Hopkinson and Alexander in the Beyond the Jacob Jeep, and they did not bother to do any due diligence or research to ascertain what is the value of that equipment. They listened to the port. The port had certain individuals. We had the type of equipment that was acquired years ago that is still not being used. When we go to Colin Imbert's statement, he is going with apples and oranges. To start with, in those countries, they do not have that problem of a massive concern of illegal guns entering the country. When I met with the U.S. Embassy as Commissioner, they confirmed that over 98% of the illegal weapons we have come from the legitimate ports of entry. That is how serious this is.
98%?
And this man has the audacity to say, well, it is going to affect trade. It may cause you to get your goods a couple of days later. So at the expense of hundreds of lives being lost on an annual basis, Colin Imbert is saying, well, we can't really improve it because it might take you a couple of days extra to get your goods from the port if it is we do proper scanning. This is mind-boggling. You would have seen the equipment that was shown in total contrast to what MyStar said. But as I said, he took the quote from somebody on the port, and the port may understand the situation where there's an obvious reluctance to do proper scanning. If it is actually an NTA in government, I intend to ensure that every single thing that leaves the port will be checked. If you have thousands of containers in the port of Miami on a daily basis, you cannot compare that to a couple dozen containers that arrive in Trinidad and Tobago on a daily basis. No. It means that it can be checked if it is you do the same thing that you would have seen now in the video.
Okay. Yeah, because with the technology that I just saw there, with a vehicle driving alongside a container, I mean, and scanning it and everything coming up on the computer in the vehicle, I mean, they're making it sound like scanning a container. Each custom officer had to walk with a scanner and scan the container from outside, and it's a lengthy process. But what we saw there is a very efficient process, and I understand that those vehicles are used in, what, about 57 countries in the world?
57 countries, 158 ports. So it shows that what MyStar said, Alexander, Marlon Hopkinson, and the Beyond the Jacob Jeep, which I said, has now become a PR gimmick to promote the incompetence of McDonald Jacob. And they have now tried to basically cover it up. Because I can tell you, because yesterday I listened to your show as well, they were speaking about technology. And Mr. Pitt, good guy that he was, he had the boast of items put into technology with fingerprinting and ballistic testing that has been there for the last 25 years. This was Flintstone type of technology that has always been there. All the other things we had, pertains to GPS tracking of police vehicles, monitor their movement. That is no longer there. So now you see police officers now using vehicles to drop their wives to Price Smart, not being able to get to a response in time. And it's not the fault of the police officers, but because of just like what they did with the shutting down of these X-ray scanning vehicles, the online reporting, the app reporting, the GPS tracking of police vehicles, the Commissioner's Command Center, the Operation Command Center, aspects of the social media monitoring unit to provide what is known as predictive policing to stop the crime from taking place. All of these things have been virtually shut down or dismantled, and it goes back to what has been there for the last 25 years, which is ballistic testing and fingerprinting. By the way, however, I'm glad that he brought the fact of ballistic testing. Every legal firearm that is issued, ballistic testing is done. So when Fitzgerald Hines, the Minister of National Insecurity, says that, well, they're concerned about legal firearms, not one of the hundreds of murders that would have taken place was used by a legal firearm, because you have the grooves of the barrel tested, so you know that if someone was killed, you can easily pinpoint if it was a legal firearm, because the ballistic testing would have linked that shot to the legal firearm issued by the legal firearm holder. Right. And not one of those murders took place was through a legal firearm. But because of their failure to deal with illegal firearms, he tried to say, well, so many of these murders are taking place because of legal firearms. It admitted the ballistic testing through doing the test, because every time somebody purchases a weapon, it must be tested. So you have the grooves of the barrel, so you will know that it would have come from that legal firearm. Not one of all of the unsolved murders was committed through a legal firearm. And again, going back to it, shows the importance of trying to prevent illegal firearms from entering the country. Yeah. The countries that Ingrid spoke about, they have a serious system as it pertains to intelligence gathering to pinpoint and target the type of containers that need to be checked prior to arrival to their ports. We do not. Our intelligence system is flawed. So because of that, it means we need to be more stringent in searching the containers. And to have the audacity to say, well, we are not going to use the systems that are here. We are not going to do proper research and search of these containers, because it will take you a couple of days extra to get your toy for your child for Christmas or whatever. Yeah. That you're actually saying that I intend to put the lives of the country at risk, because it will take longer for you to get your goods to your home or your store. That is unbelievable. And strange enough, and people still say long live the PNM. Unbelievable.
Yeah, because you can't have it both ways. It's either, I think the business community should be the most concerned about the crime situation, because once you have a murder rate that's spiraling out of control. I think we had 566 or 567 right now. It could, I'm not even sure if it is 570 overnight. But when you have a murder rate like that, and we head into like 600, it doesn't do well for business. Business slows down. People, you know that. So I would imagine that if the business community get their goods a few days late, even a week late, but on the plus side is that you're getting proper checks and balances with everything that's coming in the country to stop the illegal gun trade and to stop the illegal drug trade. I think the business community would be more than satisfied. So I can't understand where the minister going with that. But in terms of technology as well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, again, it goes back. I mean, I am fed up of so many arms in our business sector, in our chambers. They contact me, they talk to me, but they are afraid to open their mouth because they are afraid that they will lose business, because they are afraid of being victimized by the same vindictive government. And that is the problem here. It is what you call democratic dictatorship. Chambers, business sectors, everyone, they contact me and complain. They complain about the failure of the government. They complain about, but they will not open their mouth and say a word, because they are afraid that they will lose business. And this is a typical example. For Ingrid to have the audacity to say, we are not going to put more stringent approach in searching containers because it will take you a couple of days later to get your goods. That is unbelievable. Yeah. How could anyone vote for a government that is so incompetent, so clueless? And this is what has happened for the last year. So as the Commissioner of Police, I realized, look, it was, even though in my last year it was the highest reduction in every crime in 25 years. We had 340 murders and it continued to go down. And now it's 586. The fact is, I realized I had to do a lot more outside of the realm of Commissioner of Police, which is why I got these scanners, which is why I was able to draft to the Prime Minister something known as a border protection unit, making sure you have, so it was a selective number of persons from the police service, Coast Guard, the Army, the customs, immigration, all polygraphed, one would monitoring the other, because we have dozens of containers that also go missing, not just unchecked, missing. I'm speaking about that they leave without anyone knowing where they went. So the police, they do their job. They seize 800 illegal firearms a year. So after 10 years, they can seize about 8,000. But in one night, 10,000 firearms can leave a container. And all the work the police would have done to seize illegal firearms would have been in vain. In one night, when a container could have 10,000 firearms and drive out of a port without being checked. That is how serious this is. Nothing is more important. Yet we have Meister and beyond the Jacob tape trying to defend incompetence. And then we have a Minister of Finance who has the audacity to say, well, it will take longer for it to come, so let's just keep it as it is. This government has to go unless they're removed. That 600 this year could go to 800 next year.
Wow. In terms of technology as well, I think Pitt mentioned drones. The TTPS equipped with any, in terms of technology and drone technology, it right up, or what type of drones we talking about?
Well, the type of drones, I really like them, but he was really fighting or losing battle. I felt sorry for him. The drones that they use by Toronto Police Service are the same type of drones you buy in Toys R Us for 120 US. That was what little children buy, yeah. So you could go to Toys R Us and buy those drones. Those are not drones. It's not an air support system. And this is not the fault of the police service. But come on, man. Don't come and you're trying to fight a thing to defend nonsense. When I did the draft, and that is where, even though Imbert decided to reduce the budget for the police by 300 million, I was able to pinpoint, and I ran the police service as a business. I was able to reduce all of the elements of wasted spending from electricity, IT, fuel, corruption, maintenance of vehicles, 114 million per annum in overtime corruption, and utilize those funds to acquire the technology that we need, such as the X-ray vehicles, systems to stop kidnapping. You notice for the first time kidnapping stopped. The criminal elements didn't know where it was coming from. All of this type of technology is there. They have refused to use it. So going back to the drones, what I drafted for the budget allocation I got without asking for a cent extra from taxpayers by reducing and diminishing wasted expenses would have been the drones that can turn night into day, that can go 5,000 feet. It can lock onto a vehicle. It can monitor and lock down the borders. A drone can lock down your border much more than any OPV, because the drone now can be able to lock onto a log entering the country. It locks onto it. We can see the vessel that goes on and what port it gets to, what vehicle it's associated itself with. We can follow the vehicle and then from there pinpoint what is being transported into the country, whether it be illegal immigrants, illegal weapons, illegal drugs. Right. That is how we lock down the border. You can't use a Toys R Us drone as 120 US and so the police have sophisticated systems in technology about air support. And this is not fault of the police service, because the individuals in that air unit, they are very well versed. They have the capability to man these type of drones. So the drones that I was looking to acquire, all of these things never took place, and it gives the impression, is this government that incompetent, or is there an ulterior motive to deliberately ensure that the criminals continue to have an upper hand?
Wow. There was a message that was sent to me a week ago with one of the other things that you implemented, the Riverine unit, and somebody told me that they shut that down too. I don't know if you got information on that.
Well, when Keith Rowley, when he and I were good friends, when he told the Attorney General, change the law because I cannot lose Gary Griffith, he told the cabinet if he could get 10 Gary Griffiths, he could transform this country, and then he had the audacity. That was his biggest mistake. When those things happen, I mean, I remember when he opened the Carnival station, he poked me, he hit me up, a poke in my stomach and said, why it took so long for us to re-establish the police marine branch, because it wasn't established for 20 years or 25 years. We did not have one. Right. I re-established it, and he said make sure we get vessels for Tobago as well to complement the Coast Guard. All of that has now fallen on the side because it seems that there are certain individuals in the hierarchy of the police service, either based on pettiness or directive by certain politicians. Anything that Gary Griffith would have established or put in place, shut it down, dismantle. That is the PNM way. That is the political way, where political parties feel that, look, even though this is the right thing to do, we cannot utilize this because it will make our political opponents look good. It has nothing to do with Gary Griffith. The systems I put in place would have been instrumental to ensure that when I took over in 2018, crime was the number 4 concern. When I left, it was the number 1. Number 1 concern. When I left, it was the number 4 behind health, education, and the economy. It is now back to number 1 because these systems work. I did research. We looked at all the things that could have been done to provide the deterrent, to peg back criminals, to put fear back in the criminals, and you have shut down and dismantled almost every single thing that we put in place. That the country felt safer just August up until August last year. And now you shut it down, and now we are paying the price.
Wow. Just on another note, on the other video that was run, the medical insurance issue. I always thought police officers had medical insurance. That was news to me when I saw the video put out by Philip Alexander, and then he said he called you, and you said, no, the police don't have no medical insurance, and you tried to put something forward to the cabinet, and they rejected it. How does, I mean, as a former commissioner, as a man who was in charge of the TTPS, or somebody who understands international policing as opposed to local policing and what is afforded to officers internationally and what our officers get here, how important is medical insurance in the performance of officers' duties?
Well, again, it always goes back to the point of politicizing crime. I don't like to talk much about the UNC, but you know what is amazing is that when I was National Security Advisor, there was when we had these sorts with these guys, these Englishmen in their 70s, each of them getting over 200,000 CT. When we shut that down, I did all the money and the budget, and I showed to the Prime Minister at the time, if we utilize these funds, we can ensure that every single police officer, fire officer, customs, prisons, defense force person can get 1,000 TT a month, which was just about 10% of their salary.
Right.
And that was done. And in response, the Police Association decided to have a tier total policing. And now, when it is that they begin 4% over a several-year period, they said this is okay, and they accept it. And it goes right back to the system here, because when I was Commissioner of Police, I realized that we did not have a proper policy for police officers. We have police officers who could be shot in the line of duty, and they have to line up in Mount Hope and spend several months to be tested, to be checked, because they can't afford to have a proper system for medical, because there's no proper medical plan. We met with the Welfare Association. I drafted a comprehensive medical plan. It would have been cheaper, in fact, for the taxpayers, rather than have a big barrel, and when a police officer has a problem, you have to dig into the barrel, a proper comprehensive medical plan. The Police Association, they loved it. I went to the Minister of National Security at the time, Stuart Young. He was so, and again, in fairness to him, in comparison to the most incompetent security minister the country has ever seen, that is presently, Minister Young liked it to the point that he said, Gary, let us not just do it for the police. I want this for all arms of the protective services. But in typical PNM fashion, as soon as I left, that whole thing collapsed, because I got the budget in cabinet, I got the approval, and as soon as I left, look, that's a Gary Griffith thing, so the police officers and their family must now suffer until I get in government to ensure that this is provided for the law enforcement officers.
Wow. Just before I run out of time here, I was reading this morning, and I saw in the Express, the acting commissioner of police has taken vacation. He's gone on vacation. And he said that the executive in the TTPS is quite capable of handling the affairs of the country in terms of crime. Now, in the Express article, the headline is Vacation from Murders. Now, I remember when you were there, I can't remember you taking vacation. But we have the highest murder rate ever in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, and the acting commissioner going on vacation. 35 days, I think it is. You want to share your thoughts on that?
Well, whether it is that he was directed to do so by the police service commission, when it is that he has dropped the towel, when it is he feels that he just wants to utilize his vacation, whether he is in or out of office, it was irrelevant. He provided absolutely no value to build the moral and motivation of the police service. He did, I mean, you're talking about my last year, from August to August 2020 to 2021, 342 murders. Jacob's first year, August 2021 to August 2022, 596 murders. It was, so I mean, he has been weighed, measured, and found wanting It is mind-boggling that he could still have the audacity to be seen speaking. I think this is a blessing in disguise for the country. Anybody could do better than Jacob. I have the world of respect for the three present DCPs, and I can tell you, they will do as best as they can. There will be shortcomings. Nobody is perfect. But when you have an acting commissioner of police that will actually block a previous commissioner because of either stupidity or being directed to do so, it shows the individual and the character of the man. He has no intention to change. He doesn't understand how to embrace technology. He doesn't understand the type of policing that is required in the 21st century. We are now going into the second quarter of the 21st century, and you have Pitt speaking about, well, the technology we use, and the things he spoke about, the things that we had 25 years ago,
right?
Ballistic testing and fingerprinting. The type of technology that is used by police. So, I asked you all, take a look at these television series. The type of technology you see in those shows, it is there. It is available, and we have the capability to use it. And they are afraid to embrace technology. They are afraid to embrace change. And until we have a commissioner of police, whoever that is, I intend to give them full support to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago Police Service can be the best that they can be. It is certainly not going to happen under McDonald Jacob. So his vacation, I really hope it is a permanent one.
Wow. All right. Well, we're out of time, but just as you leave us, I want to tell you, a heartfelt thank you for some of the words of encouragement that you gave me. When my father passed away, some of the advice you gave me. And I also, seeing that, you were so, you reach out to me and you give me some words of encouragement.
Definitely want to talk about England football.
Well, I want to give you some words of encouragement when England play France. But how are you feeling about that game? How are you feeling about that game on another note?
It's coming home.
It's coming home. It's going to be a good game, It's going to be a tough game, though.
It's coming home.
If you could lock down Mbappe,
it's coming home. That's all I can say.
It's coming home. It's coming home. Sterling, come back. Raheem Sterling, you feeling going to make a difference?
No, but listen, it doesn't matter. Listen, I will send a video for you, and you can play it, and you'll understand that this is it for England.
All right.
I'm already ready to jump back in the pool when they win the World Cup.
All right, no problem. Good luck. Thanks a lot.
Take care, bro.
Yeah, man.